Hello and welcome to Marketing Global Edition with me, Jasmine Montgomery.
And me, Piers Gheiler. So Jasmine, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about the marketing of a drug that has become a massive global phenomenon, making its company more valuable than Tesla and sweeping social media. A brand that was described by Adage as 2023's buzziest drug and one of the hottest brands, disrupting US culture and industry. You know, really kind of indicating its influence not only on healthcare, but on society as a whole.
But most pharmaceutical brands are deadly dull, Jasmine.
This one is quite fascinating.
Okay, but you can't talk about Viagra all the time, can you?
I am far too pure of mind to discuss such a thing. No, we are looking at an ad for the miracle weight loss medication Wegovy.
Wegovy? Some people may not have heard of Wegovy.
Maybe, but I bet everyone has heard of Ozempic.
Yeah, I've heard of Ozempic, the weight loss drug. Sure, it's everywhere, all over the media. Even I have read about it.
It's absolutely everywhere. And if you live in America, you've probably seen their incredibly annoying TV ads. My American friends complain about the Ozempic ad and its earworm of a tune. I can't sing, but it's, oh, Ozempic. It's really maddening.
Now, why this is interesting is that you and I have very different views on whether or not Novo Nordisk, the company that makes this wonderful weight loss drug, have been brilliant marketeers or, frankly, quite rubbish.
Yes, I gather we disagree. So what's your view, Piers?
Well, I've watched their ads and I think they're really boring, like all pharma. Well, like the majority of pharma ads, it's boring. I think, Novo Nordisk have spent billions of dollars on the marketing, and I think what we are actually seeing is an incredible product with a huge marketing budget, and with that combination they've made a success. But and they've shown that you can get away with rubbish ads, but I don't like that. I think that's rubbish.
Whereas I think that the people behind their marketing are evil geniuses.
So we're in for an interesting debate then. Is it going to be Oxford Debating Society rules?
No, Marketing Global Edition rules. You tell me what you think and then I prove you wrong.
Yeah, like every day of my life.
Yes, so why don't we start with your view of the Ozempic Wegovy marketing?
Okay, so herein lies one of their first problems, their branding, okay? So most people, when they think of Novo Nordisk's weight loss drug, they think Ozempic, not Wegovy, but they're actually the same thing.
Well, yeah, they have the same active ingredients, semaglutide. Ozempic came first and was actually a diabetes drug made by Novo Nordisk. And Ozempic was then found to have these amazing weight loss side effects. And so people started taking it for that. So much so, there was a major supply shortage and Novo Nordisk had to stop advertising. So when supply returned, they brought out Wegovy to be the weight loss drug.
Yeah, is that smart branding?
Well, I think it was a necessity. So Ozempic and Wegovy are different brand names for the same drug, semaglutide. But Wegovy is approved to manage weight in adults, whereas Ozempic is approved to lower blood sugar when you have type 2 diabetes. So I think completely different target markets probably do merit different brand names, but it also allows them to manage supply and demand so they don't run out of the diabetes drug just because everyone is after the weight loss drug.
Yes, but interestingly, the one that's become the household name is Ozempic, right? So that's the diabetes one, which is awkward, right? That when the weight loss drug is actually Wegovy.
What would you have done about the branding if you were Novo Nordisk?
They should have kept Ozempic as the brand name for weight loss and changed the drug for diabetes. It's the household name. Why would you throw away something that everybody knows? Ozempic is known. And, give that one to the brand with a wider target audience, hence weight loss. There you go. Yeah.
Okay, I grant you that would have been a smarter move on the branding side, but I maintain that they have been evil geniuses on the advertising side.
Well, there. I think they've lazy creative, done by a company that's simply throwing money at an awareness campaign for a product that's so good it just sells itself. I think that's lazy creative.
Okay, but you're talking about the ads, right? So let's play the ad for Wegovy and see what everyone thinks.
Look out, 'cause here I come.
Have you always had trouble losing weight and keeping it off? Same.
Discover the power of Wegovy.
And I'm marching on to the beat I drum.
With Wegovy, I lost 35 pounds. And some lost over 46 pounds.
Wegovy.
And I'm keeping the weight off.
Wegovy helps you lose weight and keep it off.
I'm reducing my risk.
Wegovy is the only FDA-approved weight management medicine that's proven to reduce risk of major cardiovascular events in adults with known heart disease and with either obesity or overweight.
Wegovy shouldn't be used with semaglutide or GLP-1 medicines. Don't take Wegovy if you or your family had medullary thyroid cancer, multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if allergic to it. Stop Wegovy and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or an allergic reaction. Serious side effects may happen, including pancreatitis and gallbladder problems. Wegovy may cause low blood sugar in people with diabetes, especially if you take medicines to treat diabetes. Tell your provider about vision problems or changes, or if you feel your heart racing while at rest. Depression or thoughts of suicide may occur. Call your provider right away if you have any mental changes. Common side effects like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea may lead to dehydration, which may cause kidney problems.
With Wegovy,
I'm losing weight.
I'm keeping it off.
And I'm lowering my CV risk.
That's the power of Wegovy.
Check your cost and coverage before talking to your healthcare professional about Wegovy.
Okay, well, apart from the fact it's a bit cult-like, all those people joining together, marching forward to thinness, you have to admit that it's really boring, right? As an ad, it's boring. And I don't think pharma ads have to be boring.
Well, I think to some extent they do. They're a very tightly regulated sector, and any ad has to come with a lot of disclosure about side effects.
Well, that's true, yeah. And Wegovy is a prescription-only drug, right? So you couldn't advertise it direct-to-consumer in the UK, could you?
No, that's right. So the US, where this ad ran, is one of the few countries in the world that actually allows direct-to-consumer advertising. So I think New Zealand is the other one, but most countries in the world, you can't advertise a prescription drug direct to consumers. But both New Zealand and the US have got tight regulations regarding the disclosure of side effects.
Okay, but if you tuned in halfway through that ad, you'd think it was an ad for rat poison, yeah? But to your point about pharma ads having to be boring, I really do disagree with that, and I can think of several examples that are actually brilliant.
Okay, really? So give us an example.
Well, I hoped you'd say that, actually. So I'll play you one. It's a bit rude, so if that's worrying you, tune out now if you're a little bit sensitive. And I'm going to play what is known as the Newman ad.
Packer, go-go, pencil, pronger, pintle, piston, pizzle. Wiener, wanger, Wilfred, Weenie, William, Winkle, Whistle. Todger, Member, Johnson, Peter, Sausage, Blackbush, Shizzle. Dong, 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 dong. Call it what you want, but when it stops working, make the right call. Do something about erectile dysfunction. Clinically proven, discreetly delivered. Order today at Newman.com.
Okay, well, now that was very rude indeed, Piers Ghaylar.
Yes, but it was very funny and therefore memorable, and it was definitely creative.
And pretty unusual for its category, certainly.
I've got more. I've got another one up my sleeve. This one is for, of all things, the morning after pill. So for those of you listening rather than watching, it takes place in a shop. There is one packet of the morning after pill left on the shelf, and two women are arguing over which of them has the right to have the last packet.
There's only one left. Please. I had a situation where something fell off during something else.
Okay, well, I had something go wrong in the middle of my something too. And I have a really important to-do list that starts with not getting pregnant.
I have a flight in a few hours, so I think we could both agree that makes mine a way more urgent situation.
My boyfriend has cats.
Well, mine drinks energy drinks with every meal, so...
My boyfriend lives in the back of a pet store.
I need it.
My boyfriend has a podcast about crypto.
Mine puts cologne on his forehead.
Mine drives his mom's car.
Mine drives his grandma's car.
My boyfriend doesn't believe in elevators.
Listen,
I'm about to break up with mine.
I did break up with mine 2 hours before we had sex.
My boyfriend's a DJ.
That's literally not that bad.
In the metaverse.
Oh.
Excuse me, just got these 2 packs in.
Should we split it?
Let's just get her on.
I knew I liked you.
I don't think you did.
I did a little.
Well,
I needed this.
Tried to steal my Julie.
Mine has a tattoo that just says tattoo.
My boyfriend claims to be self-taught in MMA.
All right, okay. I'll give you that one as well, but I think it may be easier to use humour for ads about erectile dysfunction and the morning after pill than diabetes or weight loss, neither of which really scream, go on, mock me.
I'm just saying that I believe creativity can be applied to any subject, okay? And in fact, you know, the more mundane or different the sector sometimes, the better. I mean, imagine the initial meeting for the ad agency going in to talk about, you know, Julie's morning after pill. I bet they didn't think it was so full of comic potential, you know, at first thought.
Yeah, okay, point well made.
Thanks, I'll take that. So have I won the debate?
No, I am now going to convince you that the marketing people at Novo Nordisk are actually evil geniuses. But first, we're going to take a very quick break. We'll be right back, and I will wipe the floor with Piers in the debate.
Marketing Global Edition is sponsored by 𝐒𝐭𝐡𝐷, the ad generator for small businesses that serves you effective and affordable ads in seconds. And by 7 Brands, the international advertising and branding agency that has worked with clients around the world from Coca-Cola to Facebook.
We are back, and I was about to put forth my argument as to why the marketeers behind the success of Wegovy, also known as Ozempic, the miracle weight loss drug from Novo Nordisk, are evil geniuses, in spite of their rather boring TV ads.
Go on then.
Okay, so 3 reasons. Firstly, the music in their ads. Did you notice the theme tune in the Wegovy ad that we played earlier?
I did. It's the theme tune to The Greatest Showman. It's been trending on TikTok.
So I think it's quite a cunning song to have used. It's a song that's all about self-acceptance, which is a really psychologically powerful driver of demand. If your only way to self-acceptance is through weight loss, then Wegovy is the answer. So I think that hijacking self-acceptance through the music is pretty clever.
Okay, but do you think that's really strategic on their part, or is it just a one-off clever choice of song?
They've got a history of using music in really dastardly fashion. So the Ozempic ad's theme tune, which everybody is so sick of hearing, which is this. You recognise it? It's a bastardization of the 1974 hit by
You don't recognise that, Jasmine.
You do? Yeah. So as a pharma ad, you're strictly not allowed to say that you're bringing out a magic pill, right? You couldn't say that in a voiceover or in the copy of an ad. But the Ozempic ad does just that, because most people's brains will associate the Ozempic jingle with the word magic because of that song. It's a really well-known song. So it's them owning the magic bullet kind of subliminally, dastardly, evil genius.
Yeah, it's true. Subliminal marketing, it is pretty clever stuff, right? Do you remember the ad years ago now for a soda brand? It had John Cleese in it, sat on a stool talking about the evils of subliminal marketing, a bit like a sort of responsibility sort of film. And then he crosses his legs and reveals on the sole of his shoe the word Schweppes written on the bottom. And then loads of other subliminal messages.
Yes, I loved that ad. Dear John Cleese, so funny.
Okay, all right. Well, listen, you said there were 3 ways that Novo Nordisk were evil genius. That's one. Okay, I'll give you that. But
Okay. So the second one is that they've done lots with influencer marketing to really great effect on social media. So Novo Nordisk has apparently paid tens of millions of dollars to leading physicians who specialize in obesity and cardiology and diabetes to promote their drugs. So really encouraging their peers to prescribe them, and also trying to persuade to lobby insurers to cover the costs of these so that, you know, people can claim them on their insurance.
But Jasmine, is that even legal?
Well, yes. So social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok and LinkedIn have seen a huge rise in pharmaceutical influencers who share medical advice and promote products. So this trend has led to a lot of regulatory scrutiny. So in the US, the FDA, the Federal Drug Administration, Food and Drug Administration, warnings against unapproved or misleading promotions, so including celebrity endorsements. And authorities in countries like the UK and China have enforced strict guidelines to try and regulate pharmaceutical advertising on social media.
And it has been enforced, actually. In 2015, Kim Kardashian faced regulatory scrutiny for her promotion of a morning sickness drug, 𝐑𝐞𝐥𝐻𝐿, manufactured by 𝐒𝐿 Incorporated. And she shared a post on Instagram discussing her positive experiences with the drug during her pregnancy, and talked about its benefits without mentioning the potential risks or side effects. And the US Food and Drug Administration, FDA, issued a warning letter to 𝐒𝐿 because of that.
Yeah, and interestingly, Novo Nordisk are actually facing quite a lot of backlash in the media about it. A lot of people are upset that they're paying for opinion, are paying for medical advice. Is it okay for doctors to be influencers? I think is an interesting question. But, you can't argue that it hasn't worked.
And what was number 3? So far, you've argued for their genius, but you said evil genius at the start. Were you just joking, or do you think they are actually being evil?
Well, in the dark arts of marketing, I have to admire an evil genius. So I guess, it's kind of, I suppose I'm really paying them a compliment, but I am kind of torn on moral grounds by their third tactic. Because I think, that's a degree of social washing.
Is that like greenwashing, but with social issues?
Yeah, exactly. It's, it's a lot of their advertising for Wegovy drives you to a website called believeon.com, which talks about their desire to affect social change as well as waistlines. So they say on that website, we believe in a world that looks beyond people's sizes and shapes, that understands obesity as a disease and not a character flaw.
And is that evil?
Well, I don't know. Part of me loves that. I believe that we should be destigmatizing fat as a society. I'm just not sure that the people who are going to champion that cause authentically are the same people pushing weight loss drugs.
Yeah. Well, is there another brand you trust more to be shaping the debate around obesity then?
Oh, absolutely, yes. I mean, Dove with their Real Women campaign, which we've talked about before, but I just love all their kind of, promotional stuff. I guess, again, you could say it's a beauty brand trying to break a lot of the social taboos around beauty. But I think also like Agent Provocateur, who've recently been showcasing plus size mannequins and models in their lingerie store windows. I love the recent trend towards body positivity, and I'm kind of sad to see that undermined.
Is it being undermined though if very obese people are losing weight and becoming healthier?
I think that the celebrity stories and the stories on social media, all these tons of before and afters, are showing that so many people are not using it primarily for health reasons, but for beauty reasons. And being thin is a cornerstone of modern fashion and beauty. It is a status symbol.
Yeah, it's true. It used to be, though, once upon a time, that plump was a sign of wealth and status. And then with like the infusion of unhealthy food in our lives, it suddenly became the sort of status symbol to be thin.
Yeah, and now with brands like Wegovy charging hundreds, if sometimes thousands of dollars a month for weight loss, it's even more of a status symbol.
Although there is speculation that price is going to come down. I mean, really right down. And I think, when it becomes affordable for the masses, what then?
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. Like, what's the new thin when thin is available to everybody? And there are also some other fascinating possible unintended consequences. So there have been some really fun kind of analysts out there talking about the Ozempic effect and how it could play out in different industries. So, of course, things like fashion, the apparel, world is looking at people potentially just buying a lot smaller sizes. I've always been wildly frustrated by, the world of apparel who didn't think that anybody could be, anything other than a very small bandwidth between sizes sort of 8 and 16. But, people buying smaller clothes sizes. Aviation, where airlines are looking at, might benefit from a decline in the average passenger weight, which could reduce fuel costs, which is quite funny. Potentially, like all kinds of opportunities for more skincare solutions, because everyone online is talking about Ozempic face, where you look really sort of thin and saggy if you've lost lots of weight quickly. But hilariously, one that really made me laugh was Bank of America came out with a research note talking about a kind of warning for casinos, because apparently their prior studies have identified a link between obesity and gaming. And they're warning that casino revenues might actually fall because if people lose weight, they may be less inclined to gamble, which is hilarious. And then, of course, things like gyms. Will people need gyms as much if they can just take a pill?
That's fascinating. So there may be some good and different side effects beyond just health and beauty.
Yeah, but I still think that, before we start popping pills, we need to ask ourselves really whether as a society we believe that fat people need to take weight loss drugs, first of all. And secondly, whether we believe that Wegovy is indeed a noble, social justice-oriented cause just because it uses words like destigmatization. I find myself in quite morally uncertain territory there.
I'm sorry. I thought you said that we worked in the dark arts of advertising. I didn't realise you had any morals.
Charming. Well, thanks for that. I'm not sure I knew if I did either. But anyway, like it or not, or loathe it, have I convinced you that Novo Nordisk are actually evil geniuses of marketing?
Okay, yes. They've done some really clever things with influencer marketing and subliminal messaging, etc. But imagine if they had a brilliant creative ad as well on top of that.
All right, I'll give you that. So you're saying dark arts plus creativity. That's what we want.
That's certainly what we strive to do for our clients.
On which note, we say a hearty thank you to you for listening. Normally we would say same time, same place next week, but we're going to take a couple of weeks break for Christmas. So do come back and look for us in early January. And meantime, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yeah, same from me. Bye-bye.